My name is Laura Dutton, and I'm an assistant teaching professor in the visual arts department at UVic. Recently, I've been thinking about some of my previous works in relation to our current reality of being separated from one another because of social distancing and self-isolation. This is a video installation I made in 2016 called Night Comes On. It's made up of multiple individual video screens that are housed inside these sort of building blocks that are stacked up in the gallery space to create a kind of miniature city. When the video screens sense a viewer approaching, they turn on and show candid footage of apartment building windows seen from the outside looking in. The people who live in these spaces can be seen moving around inside their homes. Sometimes they come to the window or patio and it seems as though they're looking back out at us. The individuals are silhouetted, and so they become anonymous, unidentifiable. And so in that way, they become kind of all of us right now, watching the world from our isolated cubes. I've always had this voyeuristic fascination in that border between public and private life. And in my work, the window has become a symbol of that threshold. But as I look at this work now through this new lens during this very strange time we find ourselves in, I feel that this symbol of the window has gained a kind of new meaning. So the window or the balcony space, it's now a place for communication with others. So, whether it's by hanging paper hearts in your window, or playing music on your balcony with your neighbors, or banging pots and pans every evening for the frontline workers, this is now a kind of venue for connection and solidarity. I've sometimes exhibited Night Comes On with another body of work called Quietly at the Window, which is a series of photographic light boxes that depict very low resolution, somewhat abstracted windows that were cut from much larger cityscape images. But there's nobody in these windows. Instead, there's only a light, implying that someone is present within that space, even if they remain unseen. So in this time when we have to retreat from the streets, leave public spaces and go inside, I like to think about those marks that remind us of each other. So we may not be visible, we may be absent, but we're not gone. Another work I've been looking back at is a series of photographic portraits from 2018 called Nearness To or Distance From. I use the term portrait really loosely here. These images reveal almost nothing about the physical identity of the subjects pictured. These were individuals who were tourists visiting the Grand Canyon, standing maybe a kilometer or two away from my camera on an adjacent cliff overlooking the landscape. After the images were shot, I zoomed into the digital landscape and extracted the portraits. And through a process of printing and scanning and enlarging beyond recognition, the portraits reveal an ink dot pattern that suggests a human form, but really offers only a kind of ghostly residue of the person who is captured. So again, at this time when we have to keep our distance from one another, I'm left thinking about the marks we leave behind that are maybe more felt than they are seen. So the evidence that, we leave our presence in spaces, even in our absence, is meaningful. In this case, light once touched the individual pictured here, reflected off their body, and traveled to the lens of my camera quite far away, and left a subtle imprint